Hello, everyone, and good night. Thank you for being here today. I promise you that you're going to learn something new and you're going to have fun. That's my goal. So if you're not having fun, let me know. The class is about an hour and 15 minutes and is especially designed for pregnant women to prevent diabetes and hypertension, and all the participants of the Moms for Wellness program. This is especially for you guys. And if you have any requests for any further classes, please let me know. Send me an email, send me a text. You have all my digits, right? So let me know what you want to see. Tonight we're going to make turkey. Well, actually, not turkey. Let me take that back. Chicken, but this is a recipe for turkey as well. I could not find any turkey breast. Apparently, everybody's running for the turkey. Next week is Thanksgiving, but I wanted to do something with turkey because turkey is a blank canvas. I know a lot of people don't like turkey, and Annika just told me today she doesn't know what to do with turkey, but the turkey is the easiest because turkey will take whatever flavor you give it. And I have done turkey Chinese, Japanese, Mexican, Dominican, Jamaican. You can make turkey in any way you want it. You can stir fry it, you can bake it, you can ground turkey is amazing for tacos, for your pasta, for everything. The importance of turkey is do not overcook it and season it as much as you can. Over season it. I always season my turkey the day before. Not this recipe. This recipe is stuffed turkey breast. Again, but I'm using chicken today because I couldn't find any turkey. Stuff it with basil and kale and figs. Have you had any figs? Do you love figs? I love figs. And this is an interactive class. You can see my two screens. I'm going to show you food and some ingredients and also the screen. And please, I want to hear you. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me. So Sina, also, if new people are joining, I will be admitting them. Please, if you cannot read their names, please ask them. Feel free to ask them in the middle of the class to write their name in the chat so you can write it down. And thank you for being here again, for helping me with that. So again, back to the menu. It's a stuffed breast, and I'm going to give you the technique on how to do it. So you can stuff any kind of turkey breast or chicken breast or even pork chop. So it's kind of the same thing, kind of the same technique. Also, I'm going to make you Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are amazing, and people don't know how to cook it. Right? Brussels sprouts, they are full of fiber and a lot of nutrients and antioxidants. And they're little small cabbages. I make them raw in salad, and today I'm making them roasted. And then I'm going to put some pecans and cranberries, and I baked it in a balsamic vinaigrette. So it is absolutely delicious, and it's a different way to do it. And again, you can do it raw. You can shave it raw and eat it like a slaw with broccoli. They're super good. Important is, again, not overcook it, toast it a little bit, and season it well. And the third dish that I'm going to do, it sounds like a lot, right? But it's Thanksgiving. We're celebrating Thanksgiving tonight. Healthy Thanksgiving. I'm making like a potato gratin. You know what is a potato gratin? It's thinly sliced potatoes with milk and butter and cheese. But of course, that's not what I'm doing tonight. I'm not putting the milk and the cheese and all the butter, but I'm making it in a way that you're going to enjoy it, I'm sure. I just did it like yesterday for a client in her home. She loved it because it has all the flavors of a gratin and you can enjoy it. And it's not going to be, with too greasy. But you can put a little bit of cheese if you want. So a gratin is thinly sliced potatoes. This time I'm going to use butternut squash and sweet potato. Why? Because the poor white potatoes doesn't have a lot of nutrients, right? But sweet potatoes has a lot of nutrients. We have a new participant. So sweet potato and butternut squash has a lot of fiber. And you see, these ingredients are vibrant and colorful. So they have more nutrients. When you're selecting ingredients and produce, they should be full of color. And actually the greens, the greener and the bitter, the better. What happens is that you get to know how to cook them, right? I love kale. You can do kale in everything, guys. And it's amazing if you combine it with other ingredients, right? So that's what we're going to be doing today, the kale with the fig, with basil. Basil, I love basil. That's going to be the stuffing. Basil, the aromas of the basil are incredible. I love basil. And a lot of other herbs we're going to use. We're going to use thyme and rosemary. Garlic, lots of garlic. I crush my garlic once a week, and I have this garlic already crushed for the week. Also, we're going to have obviously a little bit of spice. I know there's Jamaican and Haitian here in the class. I am Dominican and Cuban, and I love flavorful food, guys. I don't like bland turkey. That's not our tradition. We don't eat like sweet potato casserole with marshmallows. That's not what we eat, right? That's not what we like. And I try to adapt the same ingredients, but with my flavor and with the ingredients that we like to eat, because right, we're Caribbean, Latin, we love spicy, we love things that are full of flavor. And that's what I do, and that's what I teach you. And you can make it your own. If you want to put a Scotch bonnet there, go for it, girl. If you can handle it, handle it. I like to put jalapenos, be a little bit more mild. But not talk that much. And I don't want you guys to be so quiet. Please interrupt me and make some comments, okay? So I'm going to start with the Brussels sprouts. So how do you do the Brussels sprouts? Actually, I'm going to take this from here. And put my cutting board here. So the Brussels sprouts are like little cabbages. So you take the end and a little bit the tip in the front, and then you take the leaves out, and just the ones that are like brownish, they're not good, and you cut it in half, right? Look, they're awesome, the little cabbages. And I'm only gonna make 4 to give you the idea of what is it that we're gonna do with them. So you see those leaves that are falling, let them fall and don't use them. You just want the ones that are there and that are not brown or falling apart. So you take the end and a little bit of the front, and then you take those leaves that are not completely fresh. And for this dish, I'm gonna cut it in half. Okay, and the last one, so you can see it. Oh my goodness, I feel like I need some music in my classes. You guys are too quiet. Okay, so here, I'm going to cut it in half. This is garbage or compost if you compost, right? And I'm going to make a sauce. So I already have a little bit in here. So what I do is I like to make my sauces in the bowl that I'm going to mix the vegetables. So I'm going to put a little bit of, you can use soy sauce or coconut aminos. This is also, you can find this is sweeter and it doesn't have any soy. And the sodium content is minimum. So it's like one or 2 teaspoons, depending on how many. I'm gonna make a pound. So about 2 or 3 teaspoons. Balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar also, you should put it in the refrigerator. When you buy balsamic vinegar and you open it, you put it in the refrigerator because it gets rancid. So I'm gonna add about a spoon, and you're gonna get the recipe. So don't worry about measurements. This is a secret ingredient, toasted sesame oil. It gives a very different touch to these Brussels sprouts. And of course, some sweetness, because Brussels sprouts are a little bit tiny bitter. So I'm gonna put like a teaspoon of maple syrup, but not the Aunt Jemima, girls. We want the real deal. Any syrup for pancakes is really not real syrup. This is real maple syrup. You can find this anywhere. Walmart, Publix. And of course, I'm gonna put crushed garlic. Again, this is a blessing. You just put your garlic in the food processor and have it for the entire week. So this is my sauce here. Super simple. And what I do is I'm going to put it in a bowl where I'm going to mix the vegetables. I do that process with all my vegetables when I'm baking it in the oven. I put it in a bowl and then I put the vegetables in the bowl and then I mix them there. So if you have a pound of Brussels sprouts, you're going to have a big bowl, right? But I already made the pound. I'm going to show you. They're almost done. You're going to put it in a 350 oven, cover for the first 15 minutes. Why you want to cover for the first 15 minutes? So the garlic doesn't burn. So you see, I position them upside down. So I'm going to put these others, right, like so. Let's see, can you see it? I'm going to put these ones that I have in here. I'm going to put it upside down. Right? And now, after they have been cooking for 15 minutes covered, I'm going to uncover them, take the aluminum foil out, and bake them for another 15 minutes or until they start to burn a little bit. Believe me, they're good when they're burning. Like when the leaves are toasty, that's where they're better. Let me get some paper towel. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back in the oven and I'm gonna put my timer for 15 minutes. So while we continue, that's gonna start cooking. Okay, now onto our butternut squash and sweet potato casserole. So as I told you before, guys, I like flavorful food. So we're gonna make also a sauce for our sweet potato and butternut squash. And those are ingredients that are plentiful in the winter, right? So I will you want to kind of use the ingredients that are usually used in Thanksgiving and where you are. I don't know if you eat those ingredients for Thanksgiving or you stick to what you used to eat in your country. Tell me, share some stories. Anybody?
Hi, this is Sabrina. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sabrina. Thank you for joining. Tell me, what do you?
My pleasure. I'm from Haiti, so I love flavor, like you were saying earlier. I I actually like green bean casserole, which is an American thing, but there's like a lot of other things, like whether it be sweet potato casserole, or even if it's mashed potatoes or anything like that, especially the turkey. I'm big on adding my own flavors. We make this vegetable type of seasoning that we blend together. It's called ippies. And so I use that a lot in a lot of the different American type of foods because I enjoy American culture as well, but just add my own flavor to it. So I enjoy that a lot.
That's what I'm talking about. Use ingredients that are healthy for you and make it even better, make it healthier and put your own touch to it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The idea of a gratin. Gratin is usually, as I said, with white potatoes, but we're using butternut squash, which has more nutrients and also fiber, and it's delicious. Butternut squash, you can just roast them in the oven with whatever seasoning you want and onions and put pieces of chicken on top of it. I love that for the week, right? So I'm using a mandolin here. This is a very dangerous slicer, but you can use a thin, not thin, very sharpened knife and also do it with your knife. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And I have a protective glove. This is, you can find this in Walmart and everywhere. So I don't cut myself in the mandolin. You can do it with a knife very thinly, really paper thinly, but you know, your knife has to be as sharp as mine. So you can do this at home, thinly sliced, like that, like so, right? But because I don't want to be here forever, I want to use my mandolin. And this is how you do it with a mandolin. The mandolin has numbers usually. So this one has 1, 2, 3. That's the thickness. You have to be very careful. This is a very sharpened razor, right? So that's why I put plastic and the protective glove. And I put it in number 1, which is the thinly. And look how they're gonna come. You see how easy it is? You see how they're coming down super easy. So that's what I want. Can you see them? Yes, you can. That's what I want. And I'm going to do the same with the sweet potato. I'm going to peel it and do the same. Very thin slices of the sweet potato. So you have the sweetness of the sweet potato as well. And you can do this with white potatoes as well if you want. Right? So I have my potatoes sliced. And I'm going to put them in another bowl because, again, I want to do the mixture in here. Now I'm going to take my gloves. And I'm going to mix olive oil, like a tablespoon, because there's a lot of sweet potato. And this is crushed thyme, rosemary, and you can put sage. These are hard herbs. Hard herbs can tolerate the heat of the oven, right? So I crush them with my knife very thinly, and I'm gonna put about 1 teaspoon. I love them. I love these herbs. Oh my goodness. The aromas. You can probably put oregano. We use a lot of oregano. And of course, guess what I'm going to put? Garlic. I put garlic in everything. Okay, that's why I always have a big container of that. So I have my olive oil, herbs, and garlic. And I'm going to put something else that you probably don't use it that much. These are nutritional yeast. Who knows what is nutritional yeast and if you have used it? Tell me. So these are dry yeast flakes, and they are like they don't have like a lot of stuff. So, but they taste like cheese. So I put a good tablespoon of this, or you can put fresh Parmesan cheese. But if you're gonna put fresh Parmesan cheese, which I also had, I use my block. Yeah. And what I do is I grate it. I'm gonna put just a little bit at the beginning, and then I'm gonna put a little bit more at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna grate a little bit of cheese. I'm gonna mix this, all the herbs, nutritional yeast, the garlic, olive oil, and I'm going to put my shaved potatoes and butternut squash. And I'm gonna mix it in the bowl. Look how easy it is. And I want that full of those flavors. Oh my goodness. I wish you can smell that. That's the only bad thing about the Zoom, that you cannot smell. Okay, so I'm gonna do it with my hands because your hands are the best tools. So, can you see? I'm putting all those flavors in each one of the rounds. Oh my goodness. Smell the Parmesan cheese, the garlic, the rosemary, the thyme. Did you guys cook with those herbs? What are the herbs that you use the most? Tell me, Sabrina or anybody else?
I really like basil. Like I buy, you know, at Publix, they have like the fresh basil, but they have it like in soil, and you can keep it like for a long time. You could just water it. So that's fun. Yeah, yeah. And rosemary is like one of my favorites too. So yeah.
I love rosemary. It's very potent, so you need to use very carefully. So now,
absolutely.
Yes, right? So now I put a little bit of that olive oil in like a lasagna pan or a baking dish, right? And I'm gonna make layers of my vegetables. Oh my goodness, I love the smell. I can bathe with this. With the garlic and the rosemary. Oh, so delicious. I'm gonna make sure everything is there. Whoop. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you see guys, oh, and you put a little bit of salt and pepper, definitely. You don't need the salt. I don't put salt in mine because the nutritional yeast has that saltiness, but I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper. And I'm gonna cover this. So you're gonna bake it for an hour or 50 minutes covered. Then you're gonna take the cover off and you're gonna get your recipe again, so don't worry. And then you take the cover off and then you toast it a little bit so you see the brown edges. And you cut it, it's like a cake. And then you can, you can eat it with whatever you want. I did it yesterday with lentils for my client. He's vegan. So I did this casserole with stewed lentils. Oh my God, it was amazing. So I'm gonna put it in the 350 oven. And I already have another one in the oven, so you could see how it's progressing. I'm gonna show you. I already had one before. Ooh, you see how that's boiling? Can you see it? Whoa, yes. Because this was, oh my God, it is already very soft. So this one is done. Super soft, and it's getting a little bit of color in the edges. So this is the one we're gonna serve tonight for the final dish. So I'm going to put it uncovered for a little bit. So now that we did that, that was easy. We have 2 dishes in the oven, and it's not complicated. When I turn on my oven, I always do more than 1 dish because I am not going to waste the heat of the oven. And if I have more vegetables, or if I have like onions and peppers, I roast them in the oven with the other with whatever else I'm making. So I have roasted vegetables for my sandwiches or for salad. So always take advantage of your oven. Now I'm going to make the stuffing for the chicken. I like to use a non-stick skillet, and this skillet you can put in the oven as well. So first, I'm gonna make the stuffing. No flame. The stuffing is obviously onions, always onions. I'm gonna use some gloves so I don't have to be washing my hands every 2 seconds. So are you guys celebrating Thanksgiving? What are you guys cooking? Anyone? Come on, guys, don't be shy. I want to hear. I want to know that I'm not alone here.
I'm gonna cook turkey.
Who is talking? Say your name.
Sosina.
Ah, Sosina. How do you make the turkey, Sosina? Tell us.
Oh, just put stuffing and cook it.
Okay.
Usually I don't put the breadcrumb stuffing inside the turkey, but I put like garlic, onion, and pepper inside with a lemon.
Okay, so
that's how I cook my turkey.
So you make a stuffing to give flavor.
I put it, I cook it separately. I don't like it when it gets soggy.
Okay, so there's somebody else joining. Welcome. Please write your name in the chat so we know you're here, and take attendance. Thank you for coming. So you put the stuffing, but it's to give flavor to your turkey. I do the same thing. I don't do stuffing inside my turkey. What I do is I put what you just said. I put garlic cloves, and I put orange, pieces of oranges, and lemon, and an onion, things like that. So that gets this juice, and it comes out in the gravy, right? But let me tell you, I stopped cooking whole turkey a few years ago because they always want ham, or they don't eat dark meat. So I do turkey breast, and this recipe is one of my favorite because it's stuffed with figs and kale and basil. Heard that? We're using basil in this recipe. So I'm just making the onion, and you saw that when you cutting the onions, what I do is I do cuts vertical and horizontal cuts, and then when you cut it, you get all the little pieces of onion are falling out. So my timer is telling me that the Brussels sprouts are ready. Let me check. I can smell, oh yeah, they are getting toasty, but still, you see, I want them even more toasty. They're so good when they're crunchy, like this. I have, P.F. Chan has a recipe. They have a recipe of, not a recipe, a dish that is like kind of burn Brussels sprout in this like amazing soy sauce, like a sweet and sour glaze. Oh my goodness. And that's where I got this inspiration for this recipe. So I'm making the stuffing of the breast, starting with the onion. And I always have a cup of water next to me because, as I told you before, my cooking is often in low salt and low fat. That doesn't mean I don't use it, but I don't put extra. It's not needed. Like to cook my onions, I can put a little bit of water or chicken stock, but I don't have chicken stock tonight, which is great because I wanted to do some gravy, but I don't have it. I forgot. But never excuse. In the kitchen, you always can make something amazing with what you have. So I put a little bit of water, and then I'm going to cook my onions there so they don't burn. While those cook, I'm going to roughly chop my kale. So the kale, what I do with the kale, I wash it and you just take it out of the, here a little bit. Like you take it out of the stem like this. You just take the stem like this, or just like you run your fingers through the stem and you just take it off. And I'm going to chop it very well. This is a little bit uncomfortable because this table is moving. When you're making kale in your salad, make sure you dry them very well. And you give them a little love massaging it, because when you're eating it raw, they could be tough. So what I do is I put it in my hands with a little bit of lemon juice and I massage the kale. Who likes kale? And who use it in cooking here?
This is Sabrina. I really enjoy kale. And sometimes I make like kale chips under the oven.
Yes.
You know how you just put the kale, olive oil. I use cayenne pepper and very light sea salt. And so I enjoy kale a lot. I even put it in smoothies.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yes, I did kale chips for my client. She has 4 kids, guy, and she's very strict in her house. They have to eat whatever she makes. And I cook for them all vegan, and I make these huge batches of kale chips for them, and they were eating it like popcorn. I love to see that. And as you said, you dry them very well with towels or whatever, and you season it. You can put nutritional yeast, and they taste like cheesy kale. They're really, really good. Oh, what happened with this? The big piece of onion in there, which I don't want. Whoa. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of pepper. I love pepper. Tiny bit of salt. I'm going to put a little bit. I keep putting a little bit of water. I'm going to put the garlic with red chili and more garlic. And more garlic. Crushed garlic. Oh, I can smell the Brussels sprouts. I can smell they are toasting. Now making this. These are aromatics, and you always cook the aromatics before. So the garlic and the onion, and you can put the dry herbs goes at the beginning. Soft herbs goes at the end. So I'm using basil. Basil is a soft herb, so I'm using it at the end of the cooking process, not at the beginning. If I would have been putting thyme, I would put the thyme before. So I'm making my onions, and I'm going to also check my Brussels sprouts because I don't want them burned. Ooh, they're getting toasty. Wow, they smell so good. super good. See? They're toasty. So I'm going to move them around. Very important to cover them at the beginning so they get soft and the garlic doesn't burn. And then you let them toast 15-20 minutes after. I'm going to put them one more time. Keep them, you have to keep an eye on them because they can become really burned really quick. I'm going to put 3 more minutes. Also keep an eye in my garlic and my onion and a little bit of spicy chili. So now I'm going to cook at my kale. I'm going to cook the kale. I already seasoned the onions, so I don't have to re-season the kale again. Already have some salt. I'm going to put a little bit of coconut aminos, or you can put a little bit of soy. Okay. Great, happy. Now, the star of the show, the figs. The figs are amazing. They have a lot of nutrients and a lot of fiber, and they are delicious. Guys, if you haven't eaten a fig with feta cheese, you haven't lived. I make a salad with fig, balsamic reduction, like balsamic, like a syrup, and figs and feta cheese or blood orange. Oh my goodness. Now I'm gonna cut the fig. I'm gonna cut the stem. And the figs, you wanna put them almost at the end. Sorry, I'm gonna put more kale.
Can you move the camera a little bit to the right so we can see more of the pan?
Okay, sure.
Like that, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Better?
Fine.
Better?
Yeah, so we can see both your hands and the pan.
Right there? Good enough? Tell me.
Looks fine.
It's fine? Is that if I put it more to the front, like you, let me see. Okay. So I'm gonna put a little bit, I think I did the same. Okay, I did the same. Okay. So I'm gonna put a little bit more of the kale. Guys, I usually don't cook with recipes, so you can put spinach into this as well, or maybe cabbage. Okay, now I'm gonna get them out. Oh yeah, they're pretty toasty. And my butternut squash are also done. Of course, I started this half an hour before you came to the Zoom, but these are nothing complicated dishes. right? A little bit toasty at the edges. I could leave them a little bit more toasty. I'm gonna get it out. I don't want to forget. I want to pay attention to what we're doing here. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of Marsala wine. It's a cooking wine and it's sweet and delicious. I don't know if you have ever tried the Marsala chicken. I'm going to put a little bit of the Marsala. A little bit more of the water. And you can see I haven't put any oil yet. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil or maybe butter at the end or in the, maybe in the gravy. So now I'm cutting the figs in little squares. Oh my goodness, I love figs. Do you guys love figs? Do you eat? Have you cooked with figs? Fig is very soft, so I'm gonna leave it just at the last minute. It's gonna be sweet and delicious inside your turkey or whatever, chicken.
Anika here. I've never tried it before.
Never tried it? Well, go to the supermarket and get some. Have you ever tried the Fig Newton? The cookie?
Yes.
That's great. So I'm putting the figs, low flame. Again, you're gonna get the recipe.
I can get it in Publix or Walmart, right?
I'm sorry, say it again?
I can get it in Publix or Walmart.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And if you cannot find it fresh, get it dry figs.
Okay.
Not the same, but you can make it because you want that sweetness and yumminess of the figs. So now I am not going to destroy my figs. I want my figs kind of with some body. I'm gonna turn them off and I'm gonna add the basil. So as you see, I put the basil at the end. Because also you want the basil to be fragrant and wow, basil is such a beautiful herb, but it's very soft. So again, you put it at the end and when you're cutting herbs, don't squeeze them and break them so hard that you see your cutting board like brownish. No, you don't want that. You want it to be still green. Okay, so you can see here, I'm going to put all the leaves together. I'm going to wrap them like a cigar. And I'm going to chiffonade. This is French term, right? Because we have a lot of French terms and French words in the cuisine and the cooking. And look at this. You see, that's what I want. I don't want mushy or anything. Oh my God, and it's so fragrant. And that's what I'm going to put in the skillet. Okay. So because we started almost at 8:30, we have a little bit more to go, guys. So I hope you bear with me. So this is my stuffing. I'm making very little because I'm going to stuff one breast. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take it out, put it in a plate so it gets, also that's the stuffing. And actually, let's give it a taste. taste, taste, taste. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. It's spicy, but it's sweet at the same time with the fig. I can taste the freshness of the basil. I cannot even taste the kale. Actually, I was very shy with the kale. I should put a little bit more. I'm gonna put a little bit more of the kale. Wow, so good. You can taste all the flavors. I'm gonna put a little bit more of the kale. And I'm going to put a touch of salt. And now I'm gonna put a squirt of olive oil, just at the end. And I need to change my gas. This is just finished. Awesome. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna wilt the kale a little bit. Mix it. Garlic, you can taste everything. You don't want to overpower any ingredients. Okay. Now I'm gonna put my stuffing. Nothing complicated here. And in the same skillet, I'm going to make the breast because I want to get all those flavors as well. Okay. So chicken or turkey. Let me put my gloves. When you're dealing with chicken or poultry, do not use a cutting board that is wood cutting boards. Food safety is very important, guys. I only have same cutting board for my poultry. And you should wash everything right after you use it. What I do also, I use paper. I use paper plates and then just throw them out. Using another knife as well for that. So I also always be very careful when I'm working with chicken. So I'm going to dry my chicken very well. And I'm using a boneless, skinless chicken breast, or you can use the turkey breast. I'm going to dry it very well. And when you stuff in a breast, you can do two things. You can open the whole breast, then close it with toothpicks. Or you can just put like a pocket and stuff it. So I'm going to cut it in half. This is the whole breast. And obviously the turkey breast is going to be bigger. What you do is you cut the breast in half, the turkey breast. So, and then you cut it in half again. So it's going to be bigger and you're going to have more space. So you need to make more stuffing. But again, you're going to get the recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it from the thicker side, right? And I need a cutting board for that, actually. I thought I was not going to need it, but I will. I use the black cutting board. I know it's for chicken and for fish and for those things. Put my gloves again. You don't need to put gloves, but if you have gloves, better, because that way you just put it in, take it out, and they're expensive. And nowadays they're more expensive than ever. Okay. So again, you can do two things. You can put you can make a pocket in here, small pocket, an incision in the middle, making sure you have enough. Can you see it? Right there. I'm making a pocket. And in that pocket, I'm going to fill it up. It's super easy because you don't cut the whole thing. So, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So, love to season it. Little bit of salt in the middle. Always season, season, season. And if it's turkey, even more. A little bit of pepper. I'm gonna put my stuffing. Can you see it?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm making
Is it okay to use the little picks like to close it up?
the what?
The little things like the sticks thingy to like get it closed.
Where can you get it?
No, like is it okay to use them when
Yes.
you're doing stuff like that?
You can use the toothpicks, or you can use a twine, like you can just like wrap it. And
Right. Okay.
sometimes I don't even do anything because I don't care if a little bit of the stuffing comes out, and I just cook it like that, put it like that, and just cook it both sides. Now you're gonna see it, and then put it in the oven. So sometimes I don't even use anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm not using like cheese or anything that is going to be super gooey. So these toothpicks are for barbecuing, for grilling, okay? This one. So
Okay.
perfect for barbecuing and appetizers. So you can actually put these ones in the oven. Okay. So now I'm going to, now I am using avocado oil. When you're using high heat, you should get oil that is good for high heat. So avocado oil is good for high heat. So I am not using olive oil for cooking, for searing, because this is what I'm doing. I'm searing the breast in a little bit of oil. And right there, I'm gonna put it in the oven. And I'm going to put thyme leaves. Woo! Okay, I like it. Now you can put the toothpicks, like so. Okay, thyme, what happened? And again, I'm going to season it again. With the turkey breast, actually, you can season it the day before. And you will need to have it seasoned. And what I'm going to put is also I want it to burn. This toast is really terrifying. I can't put it lower than that. Okay. So you can put a little bit of butter. Just a little bit. I don't know what is happening. I'm going to change the skillet. I don't like this one too much because sometimes I have to use more oil in this one that is non-stick. Ooh, look at this, how beautiful this is. You see the color already there? I love that flavoring that is getting there. Let's see if I can manage finish it up in there. I love the flavor that is in the pan to do the sauce. So I'm gonna turn it the other side. And then we're gonna finish it in the oven. I'm just giving some color. So this is easier than making a whole turkey. Oh, I love it. So I'm gonna get color everywhere. Okay. so amazing. Smells so amazing. Okay. Now that I have color everywhere, I'm gonna put this whole skillet and finish it up in the oven. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the herbs all around it. Just like that. I'm gonna put it in there. You can cover it if you want, so it cooks a little bit faster. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna cover it for 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna take the aluminum foil and let it cook 10 more minutes. Okay. Okay. Let's put the timer. Now let's finish with the rest of the meal. Now I'm going to do the Brussels sprouts. I'm going to clean everything. Chicken was. Okay. Okay, guys, I still have a little bit more of the stuffing for another breast, and I'm going to make this Brussels sprouts. Look at the crunchy leaves. Oh my goodness, that is so, wow, it's like chips. I love Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna get a bowl. And what I'm going to do with the Brussels sprout is I'm going to add toasted pecans. I'm going to take the Brussels sprouts. Remember, I left a little bit of the dressing. I'm going to put them in a bowl or whatever you're going to serve them. And when you put the toasted pecans and the sweet cranberries, oh, I love this toasty bits. They're so good. So good. Okay. Bread is going. So now I have pecans. You can toast them or you can buy them toasted. No salt. I love it. And sweet cranberry dry. And I left a little bit of the dressing here. I'm gonna put it again. I'm gonna drizzle it with the dressing. One more time. And let me tell you, that is delicious. Because when you get a piece of the Brussels sprouts and the pecan and the cranberry, you get all these different flavors. Look at that. So have you done Brussels sprouts for Thanksgiving? Anyone? Creak, creak.
This is Lucina. No, I have never done it, but it looks good though.
Yeah, so this is the Brussels sprouts with the pecan,
It looks good.
the cranberry. Mmm. Mmm.
Hi, this is I've made it, but not for Thanksgiving. It's delicious.
Mmm. How do you make it? Tell me.
Usually with my Brussels sprouts, just do like some olive oil, like the Brussels sprouts. I usually use Sazon Tropical. They have this no MSG seasoning
Mm.
that I like to use. I like spicy, so I'll do paprika, black pepper, and a little bit of salt, and just saute it. And sometimes I add purple onions with it.
This is a different way to do it. It's a little bit sweet,
Yes.
and you can taste the balsamic, and you can taste like the sesame oil like in the background because it's toasted sesame,
Yes.
and it's a different flavor. It's like Asian whatever Christmas.
Yes.
Pecan in it is really good. So I hope you try it. Okay, so we have that one down. Now I'm gonna show you how the potatoes are looking. So remember I had one and then I did this one. So you can do it in a casserole. And what you just do, you just cut it. Usually, you have more because I did it in two different pans, right? So they're toasty. So it's like a galette. You see? And it's creamy because it has, the olive oil and the herbs. It's really delicious. I hope I hope my honey's hungry because we have a lot of food. I think he already ate. I'm going to start setting the plate. So this is the sweet potato and the butternut squash together. It's amazing. It's sweet, but a little bit salty. Now I'm gonna put Parmesan cheese on top. So you balance the sweetness of the butternut squash and the sweet potato. It's not too sweet, but Thanksgiving tradition, you have like a sweet casserole. So the sweetness that you're putting here is with the vegetables that you're using, right? They're good vegetables. The sweet potato is sweet, and the butternut squash is a little bit sweet as well. You don't have to put any more sweetness here. And you can balance it up with a little bit of the Parmesan cheese, as I said. I'm gonna plate it, so when my chicken comes out, we can see the whole dish plate. So this will be like your sweet casserole. I want to like you put it like in the bottom of your plate. Usually if it's for Thanksgiving, you're gonna probably leave the whole casserole in the table. So I love the crispy bits. And you know that you're giving and you're putting something good in the table, right? You're not, slathering this with marshmallows and a lot of butter. It looks like has a lot of fat, but it's is the olive oil and the same the oh my god, the root vegetables, because they glisten when you bake them like that. Oh my god, and these crunchy bits are the best. I'm trying to take the crunchy bits out and have those. I wish you all are here. You can try it, right? But soon we're gonna be doing this in person because you're all here from Broward, so we're close. I do these classes for people all over the world, and they there's no chance. So this toasted bits guy, the best. I'm sorry, I can't wait. I want to eat them. I want to eat those toasty ones. Mmm, so good. Yes, so good. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Okay, chicken is almost done. I'm gonna leave this one in the back. So you can serve it like that. Leave it in your pan for Thanksgiving. Okay, now I'm going to take the aluminum foil and keep toasting it. Oh wow, it looks so gorgeous. Look at this. Wow. So I'm going to check the temperature, but you can also know when you touch it. If it's too hard, still not done. But I need to ensure. So I'm going to put my thermometer. It should be cooked to 160. Okay. Still not there. Okay. 5 more minutes. Do you ever put a skillet in the oven and then forgot that you put it in the oven and put your hand in there? Not fun. Okay. So we're almost done, guys. Bear with me. We started a little bit later today. And also we're doing a Thanksgiving meal, right? Thanksgiving is usually longer. So why are you guys the menu for some of you here? Tell me. Sabrina or Susana, you already told me. Sosina, you already told me. Who else wants to share what you're making for Thanksgiving?
Anika here. I have an old turkey in the fridge. I don't know what else because I'm not gonna do the cooking. So I know we're doing turkey, but I don't know what else they're making because we're gonna put the family together. So I know it's gonna be a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure of the menu as yet because we're trying to discuss it tonight or tomorrow. So I don't know as yet.
Okay. But this is something that you can do for you. Because you can stuff a chicken breast with the fig and the kale and the onions and the garlic, put some spicy there, put some chilies or anyway.
I'm definitely gonna do the stuffed chicken and see. I'm gonna do the stuffed chicken. I'm gonna do that for me. So
awesome.
I'm gonna do that.
I can't wait. And also always, guys, have a salad. I'm gonna Today I did my salad. Where's my salad? I always have a huge salad in my fridge. And I do one dressing a week as well. Where my dressing is? Did my honey hide it? He likes ranch dressing or the ranch or the, how you call this dressing? Thousand Island. So what I did is I did a vegan Thousand Island with cashews. I don't know what it is. It disappeared. So what I'm gonna make, I always make a huge salad and I put sprouts, and this, what I do, this is spinach and kale, the same thing. So I use it in different ways. This is romaine and cabbage and sprouts in here. I always put it in a container with paper towel in the bottom and keep it in the coolest part of the refrigerator covered. And you can use that for the whole week. And what you can do is put the figs, make the salad, put some figs, fresh figs, the figs that are left over, and put some feta cheese on top. And it's gonna be an amazing salad as well. And you can put basil in the salad, so you use the basil and it doesn't go to waste. So you always use kind of the same ingredients that you're using. Right here. So this is a like Thousand Island. What I do is you can read ingredients of the products that you like, and then you make it at home, better versions. So look how awesome. It's like a creamy sauce. So you can use that for your salad or for anything else. Oh, I have somebody has some chat in here. Somebody has written something in the chat. Questions or no? Okay. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit of the Parmesan cheese on top of my butternut squash and sweet potato. Look how beautiful. That's what you're gonna put your chicken or your turkey on top. And I'm gonna get it out. Usually you get to let it rest at least 10 minutes before you take it out. But because we don't have time, the time is gone. See, okay. I'm going to take it out and cut it. Has to be ready now. Okay. So what you can do is here, you can make the gravy. You put a little bit of the wine, maybe a little bit more of the garlic, chicken stock, and you get that juices from your chicken. I'm going to take a little bit of it as well. Okay. Now, I'm going to cut the chicken, so we plate it. And again, you don't want it to go dry. So you just let it cook at the temperature it needs to cook. And make sure you don't dry it, because that's a problem with the turkey and the chicken as well, the chicken breast. So you usually put the foil and let it rest for at least 10 minutes. Or because we don't have time, I want you to see the final product. Look at that. You see, it's perfect. So you can cut little rounds. When you rest, it's going to be easier to cut, because right now it's a little bit difficult. And I'm burning. Okay. You see, you don't want it dry, you want it juicy, but you don't want it pink neither. So it's white and it's cooked. Okay. So now, what I want to do is some basil. Decoration. You do the same thing you do with the basil. Basil and the juices of the pan. That really nice juice of the same chicken, although we don't have a lot because I don't want to extend the class. But usually what I put is a little bit more of chicken stock and maybe wine, and then so you strain it right there and there. Okay. You want the juices of the chicken in your dish. And that's it. Here you have your Brussels sprouts. Somebody went out and came back. And you can have obviously a salad, a green salad, or maybe a rice or anything else you want to have. But this is a meal by itself. And we're done for tonight. Any questions? Any comments? Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. I hope you learned some stuff and that you try the recipe. I'm going to follow it with the video. The video is going to be posted in YouTube, and I'm going to send it to you via email, and you're going to get the recipes as well. I'm going to stop the recording.